Welcome, classmates! Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of carbohydrates. And by the end of this chapter, you will be able to describe carbohydrates based on their structure, sources, and function in the cell. We will compare simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates, differentiate the structures of sugars, starch, and cellulose, and even compare or explore some reaction mechanisms within different types of carbohydrates. So let's get started. So the first thing you have to do is to understand the basics of carbohydrates. So carbohydrates, basically, they are monomers and polymers made from aldehydes and ketones containing hydroxyl groups attached. Carbohydrates have a formula of CnH2O, and it appears to be hydrates of carbon. So when we say a monomer, we are simply speaking of a single block of carbohydrate. So here is a picture of a brick, as it is an analogy to let you know that a single brick such as this one would be considered a monomer. Monomers are simple building blocks that are joined together to make a polymer, which is a giant molecule made from repeating subunits of monomers. And if we want to imagine it that way, we can simply then say that a polymer would be a brick wall such as this one in the example, because it is the joining of many monomers. So again, think of a monomer as a single block, while a polymer is many of monomers joined together in order to make a giant molecule. Did you know that carbohydrates are one of the main source of energy in our diet? They provide the energy our body needs for movement, maintaining body temperature, and fueling chemical reactions. This energy is measured in calories with an average of 4 calories per gram in carbohydrates. Therefore, the more calories in the quantity of food, the higher energy it contains. The fun fact here is that even though carbohydrates are associated with providing energy, eating refined carbohydrates, especially in large amounts, can make you tired. So this means that when you eat a lot of pasta, or you eat too much bread, or you basically eat too much refined stuff, you find that you want to sleep, or you just want to lay down a little bit because you are exhausted. And that is a fun fact about carbohydrates. So when we say carbohydrates, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will give you energy, because in some instances, it can make you tired. Okay, enough fun fact, and let's get to the main study. So, to better understand carbohydrates, let us explore their different types. So, carbohydrates are either simple or complex. Monosaccharides here and disaccharides are simple carbohydrates or simple sugars. Meanwhile, polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates, which are a bit more intricate in structures. Also, fruits are a significant source of simple sugars. They are crucial for brain and nervous system function. Plant cell walls contain cellulose, which provides us with essential dietary fiber. And starch can be found in food like rice, potatoes, bread, cereals, and pasta. Our bodies can digest sugars and starch but not cellulose because we lack the necessary enzymes.
Monosaccharides is a type of carbohydrate consisting of one sugar unit. Common example of simple sugar are glucose, fructose, and galactose. Each is a 6-carbon sugar or hexose.
Glucose. The primary kind of sugar found in blood is glucose, which also serves as the body cell's principal energy source. Our bodies can produce glucose from other substances or obtain it from the food we eat. The circulation transports glucose to the cells. In plants, glucose is used for energy and to make other substances like cellulose and starch. Fructose. It is one of the 3 dietary monosaccharides that the gut absorbs straight into the portal vein's blood after digestion, along with glucose and galactose. The only monosaccharide found in circulating blood is dissolved glucose, also referred to as blood sugar, which is produced by the liver from both fructose and galactose. Galactose. Galactose is an essential carbohydrate for cellular metabolism, as it contributes to energy production and delivery in several human tissues, while also being a storage.
Glucose and galactose have an aldehyde functional group while this fructose has a ketone function group.
Disaccharides. Disaccharides, by the prefix di, meaning there are two monosaccharides that are chemically bonded. It is similar to chemical compounds where there are two elements combined but composed of simple sugars. The two monosaccharides are joined together by a glycosidic bond. A glycosidic linkage is a chemical bond in the form of a covalent connection that connects a carbohydrate molecule to another group, which might be another carbohydrate or not. The glycosidic bond is formed via condensation reaction, which is a chemical reaction in forming disaccharides. We will discuss that later, but first, these are the examples of disaccharides: sucrose, lactose, and maltose. Two key chemical reactions, including creating disaccharides and separating them into monosaccharides: condensation reaction and hydrolysis reaction. Disaccharides are chemically bonded together by a glycosidic bond due to condensation reaction. A condensation reaction in disaccharides involves removal of water molecule from two monosaccharides. The bond which the two monosaccharides share is called glycosidic bond. So the bond can be reversed by splitting apart the molecules through addition of water. This process is called hydrolysis reaction. Hydro meaning water, while lysis in biology means splitting or to break apart.
When these sugars are consumed in our body, hydrolysis occurs and breaks down the disaccharides into monosaccharides. This can be done by the use of enzymes in digestion and glycogenolysis, meaning stored glycogen hydrolyzed into glucose when our body's blood sugar drops, providing energy source for our body's cells, tissues, and organs. Sucrose is composed of glucose and fructose. Sucrose can be in our daily life as table sugar, sugar cane, beet sugar, which are high in sucrose. This is the cyclic form of the sucrose. Lactose is composed of glucose and galactose units, which can be found in milk, goat's milk, even human breast milk. This is the cyclic form of the lactose. Maltose is composed of two glucose units which can be found in malt extract, which is concentrated syrup used in sweetening or for baking to add flavor. This is the cyclic form of the maltose.
Polysaccharides are complex carbohydrates formed by long chains of sugar molecules. They serve crucial functions in living organisms, contributing to various biological processes. These polymers of monosaccharides units are joined together by covalent bonds known as the glycosidic bonds. Polysaccharides are both simple and complex carbohydrates. They are insoluble in water and do not take on crystalline form. Starch, for instance, is a major storage form of glucose in plants and it is composed of glucose monomers. Other examples of polysaccharides including glycogen and cellulose. Glycogen serves as the primary short-term energy storage molecule in animals, while cellulose provides structural support in plant cell walls. Starch. Let's start with starch, a polysaccharide commonly found in plants acting as the primary energy storage molecule. Starch consists of long chains of glucose molecules, which can be either branched or unbranched. This structural complexity allows plants to store energy efficiently, especially in structure like roots, tubers, and seeds. When needed, enzyme steps in, breaking down starch into glucose, providing a readily available source of energy for plants.
Next, we have cellulose, another vital polysaccharide. It forms the rigid fibrous structure in plant cell walls, providing essential structure support. Composed of long, straight chains of glucose molecules, cellulose maintains the shape and rigidity of plant tissues,
allowing them to stand tall, resist environmental stresses. Interestingly, while crucial for plants, cellulose also plays a role in our diets. True, we lack the enzymes to digest it. Cellulose serves as dietary fiber, aiding in our digestive process. Finally, we have glycogen, a polysaccharide found in animals including humans, serving as their primary short-term energy storage molecule. Glycogen is similar to starch but highly branched, allowing for rapid release of glucose when needed. Stored in liver and muscle cells, glycogen acts as quick response energy source when blood glucose levels drop, ensuring a steady supply of energy.
Today, we've taken a fascinating journey into the world of carbohydrates. Carbs are like our body's fuel, giving us the energy that we need. And again, there are different types of carbohydrates. The simple ones are monosaccharides and disaccharides, while polysaccharides belong to complex carbohydrates. We've also explored special carbs like starch, cellulose, and glycogen. All these carbs have important jobs in nature, making life possible and fascinating. Just remember that in the big picture of life, even the smallest things like these carbohydrates play a big role. Nature is like a puzzle, a beautiful puzzle, and each molecule is a piece that makes the whole picture amazing. Thanks for joining us on this journey to explore the world of carbohydrates. If you have any questions, it will be entertained later on sa ating clarificatory session. Goodbye!